Hello, everybody. Jim here, and welcome to my Avengers number 31 review. And Avengers number 31 was written by Jason Aaron, art by Gerardo Zafina, Gerardo Borges, Simon Kodransky, Balzaduea, Robert Gill, and Matteo De Luis. Yes, there are a lot of artists on this issue. While I have enjoyed a bit of what Jason Aaron has done with the Avengers so far, one thing that keeps getting on my nerves, though, is the sheer amount of stories he's been juggling since he started this run. While some, like the Agents of Wakanda, have gone off into their own books, Caveman Tony Stark is what we finally get to deal with in this issue. There are a ton of artists, like I said, and while the transitions are not really a problem between artists because we deal with a lot of different times, I really didn't like the art overall. The issue begins with Tony walking down memory lane and remembering that fun time when he was a kid, and like most kids, he walked in on his billionaire parents' satanic sex party. And boy, if I only had a quarter for each time that happened to me. Yeah, it seems like his parents and their friends were into some pretty kinky stuff, like inviting the devil over for tea, crumpets, selling souls, possibly worse. And it is just the setup to get Mephisto to be the big bad here and also show us Howard Stark was not really a great guy after all. Back in the distant past, though, BC Tony continues to struggle to survive as he is running out of power and resources, especially vibranium. Now, we do get a half answer as to how he was sent back. He says it was a unknown energy source, and we get to see how it happened and when he did arrive in the BC times. He ends up fighting the BC Avengers and then gets a cryptic warning from the Phoenix, and then begins what amounts to be the last or first temptation of Tony Stark. It starts with cave women offering him booze, and somebody please get these ladies some coats and pants. It's cold out. When he refuses the women, the next phase seems to be a 3-week-long sausage party before the big reveal that Mephisto has been behind all of this all along. And Mephisto, he might want to kind of do this a little different way. Start with the sausage party, then get to the ladies. I need to get a hold of Mephisto's agent, though, because he is everywhere nowadays. Of course, where Mephisto goes, deals for your soul are sure to follow, but it seems like somewhat of a deal has already been made by Howard. And instead of a new deal at this point, we pretty much get Mephisto acting all Darth Vader with Tony. It really feels like Jason Aaron is trying to grab some of the Immortal Hulk vibe here. It's a horror-tinged story. It feels a lot like we ended up when we had the Immortal Hulk story when Al Ewing took it to hell. And it's not really hitting with me, just like when Al Ewing took the Immortal Hulk to hell. Plus, how many stories am I going to get lately where the hero's dead father actually isn't dead and comes back to be a real pain in the ass? Back to the story, though, after getting attacked by a Gorgilla with the Power Stone, Tony decides that when in Rome, you might as well become Ice Age Man. It's a wow factor moment that might feel a little forced, but it does look cool, and it's pretty much the best part of this entire issue for me. And Mephisto takes the bait. He shows up to fight Tony, then offers Tony a new version of his life, a better version, a non-drunkard version, a version where he is the only Avenger. And again, it's pretty much Mephisto stuff. But when Tony sees that Mephisto actually has the Time Stone, and I mean, there's 2 Infinity Stones in this book within 4 pages, he throws a Hail Mary, and after pretty much shooting the Time Stone, he ends up going through a very quick 1-page crazy alt-time with just wacky stuff going on, some things that have happened, some things that are happening, and some things that probably will never happen, and then finds himself back home. The issue ends then with Tony making a trip to Vegas to tell Mephisto to kiss his iron ass, and we get a cliffhanger that isn't as shocking as I think it wants to be after all of what we've seen with Mephisto, with Howard, and that sex party earlier, so it's not a real shocker, though it is intriguing. Intriguing enough, but didn't make me a fan of this issue. One of the reasons is this: I don't know when we're going to get back to this story, so how can I really be that excited to something that I'm sure is going to take months to resolve? It seems like Jason Aaron finally realized he had too much on his Avengers plate, though, and needed to force this story forward very quickly. You end up getting a lot of narration, a lot of exposition to get us to the end point, and things like the BC Avengers and Black Panther searching for Tony in the present are just forced aside. They're pushed aside to give us Mephisto and his usual Mephisto M.O. By the end, it feels like a prelude to another story. And really, like I said, who knows when we're going to get back to this. But for the most part, I didn't like the art, especially the BC stuff. And I kind of want to see the Avengers in, the Avengers book. Jason Aaron recently promised even more story threads for 2020. And while I love variety, there is just too much going on in this book already. And I am giving this issue a normal 5 out of 10, not the special variety of such score. And thanks for watching this review. If you want a more in-depth review, you can go to our Marvel Comics website, WeirdScienceMarvelComics.com, where we review almost every Marvel comic each and every week, and or listen to our podcast, the Weird Science Marvel Comics Podcast. The links for everything Weird Science are below in the description of this video, and be sure to subscribe. And bye for now.